Hey everyone, it's M4J here, and welcome back to the game with the trucks, the trains, the boats and the planes. That's right, we're back here in openttd. This is the new M4J network, and I'm currently sat here at Wunington Tranquility Station, which is kind of a bit of a mishmash of everything right now. We've got slow lines, fast lines, high-speed lines, through lines, bay lines, all sorts. It's a bit of a plethora of railways, and it's only going to get more confusing as this episode goes on. Basically, this is the hub of the northern Bahecity commuter services. We've got currently technically a branch line from these platforms here that then join up with the East Coast line here that run up to, forgotten the name of station already, Keddingston Y, that's the one, where some services terminate, some will carry on. Very much depends on the type of train running. Again, I've still got these like corrupted industries that I see. Someone has told me in the comments what they are, and it is entirely my fault that they exist. But it's still annoying to find them, and I swear they're getting more and more frequent as I scroll around the map. But that could just be because I'm exploring more of the map that I'm actually seeing them. I don't know. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so we've got that line that joins up with the East Coast there. We've got another set of lines which branch off of this same set of platforms actually that then connect up this way, which is the Bahecity Northern Belt, I think it's called. I can't actually remember off the top of my head. It's one of those things. I haven't actually played this game for a long time. You might have noticed that. It's been a while since a video. And there's two reasons that I'm making a video on this again. One, it's coming up to winter, and I seem to always play openttd during the winter. No idea what that's all about. It's got nothing to do, by the way, with the fact that I looked at my watch hours recently and realised they'd sunk slightly, so I thought, oh, better start playing openttd again. No, nothing like that. Just, I enjoy playing the game. I enjoy making videos on the game. I want to get trains running. That's my goal for the end of this year. And I also want to get the patrons on board as well. We've got two patrons, both of whom have claimed franchises here on the network over the time that they have been patrons. But up till now, they've not actually been able to get on here to run their franchises as patrons. So I do want to get that set up and working for them. Whether it's going to be a late Christmas present or whether that ship has sailed now, I don't actually know. But it would be cool if I could. So I will try. I think I've just noticed something. Maybe not. I thought I'd noticed something, but maybe not. Something to do with the way that this was all set up. Actually, I think it's okay. I'm sort of talking to myself and talking to you guys at the same time. The main thing that we're going to be doing today, I had such a good intro in my head, and I sat down at my desk and I just completely forgot it. It's because I managed to get the trucks, the trains, the boats, and the planes bit out without making a mistake. I think I got a bit too big for my boots. Today's objective is to finish the Bahecity Northern Commuter project, which is something that's been sat on by the wayside for quite some time now. And it's about time I actually got off my backside and did something about it. So you can see these plans. There's a couple of them set up, and we're going to try and implement the majority of them. So you can see there's one here that goes over to Keddingston. That one's already technically been built as part of the East Coast project. And I don't think there's much actually that needs to be added to that. So I'm going to tick that off and count it as done, even though the line used to go that way. I think because I managed to curve it a lot better, it became less of an issue. I'm also mindful that I don't really want to rebuild too much around the high-speed stations, because Master Trams has already gone through and quite painstakingly created all of the SRTs for the high-speed network, which is something I'm going to talk about in a second as well. And I don't want to change something, which means he then has to go and redo them all. So I'm not going to tweak too much. Although saying that, I did notice down here there was a rogue signal. So I don't know if that's something that he had found himself and sorted out or not. But there is one over here that kind of fixes what that one causes. So maybe it just cancelled itself out anyway. I don't know. I do want to rebuild these tracks here though, because that's annoying me slightly. I don't think I need to cut as much into Fort Sindborough as I have there. So I feel like this bridge could be shortened to tile, and then this could be straightened and things like that. So that might be something we do today as well. Primarily though, it's this pair of lines here, which may even get quad tracked by the end of today's episode. And it's going to come down here to Marnwell, where it then splits. one half, which again technically is following this route here, but it will change slightly, and I'll explain why in a second. But one half is going to come up this way, and currently it's set to terminate here at Fort Bredborough. That may well be the case, or it might end up going to one of these other large communities instead. It could even come down here and go to like Frintbourne or something, or maybe there'll be another branch from there that goes to Frintbourne. I don't know, but that's one possibility. The other half will follow the edge of the lake here, and right now this is also meant to go like all the way over to here and then split again and things like that. But I think I'm actually going to cancel that phase of the project for now. It will eventually exist, but right now I'm going to cancel it, and I think I'm only going to build as far as Tewdingbury and Farnpool, so sort of down by the lake here, and there might be like a dock that then, you know, you catch a boat across the lake, that kind of thing. The third one comes off of Slonford here, runs via Rewood, and then down through all of these communities, and again this is meant to go, actually it goes out as far as Braham, which I think is fine. And then all of these will form commuter belts that will take people to and from Bahecity. So the reason why this is different to the plan is because this main line, whatever it's called, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think I have a list of them somewhere. That's actually another reason why I hopped back into the game, was because Master Trams has been asking me for a list of franchises on the network, and I've forgotten most of them, so I needed to refresh my memory, and I thought, I'm here, might as well record an episode. But yeah, there are stations along the route. So there's one here at Slunfing Bridge, there's one here at Sludston Bay, obviously Slonford, and then there's a few more. But then you've got other towns like Cartborough, Parhill, that don't have any stations, and we've also got the Transrapid that blasts through here as well. And it kind of made sense to remove some of the stations off of the main line. So here, for example, Kenningbury, we could probably take this one off the main line and actually put it on a dedicated branch elsewhere in the town. So in this case, it'll probably move over here and get renamed Laning Hall. And it just means that we can have semi-fast services operating on the outer tracks, not getting in the way of the high-speed trains that use the centre tracks. So I think it's 140 miles an hour, the top speed through the centre. The top speed of an Intercity 125 is obviously 125 miles an hour, so that can run down the middle. But there might be trains that can go 100 miles an hour that can't run down the middle because they're too slow in comparison, so they'll run on the outer lines instead. So we don't want too many slow stopping trains getting in the way, because again, the first major hub outside of Wunington is over here at Fort Bredborough, where the high-speed line diverges anyway. So at that point, the faster trains will then take the centre tracks, and the slightly slower trains will take the outer tracks, and it becomes less of an issue. This needs a proper airport built. I've just realised we'll sort that out at some point as well. So yeah, goal of today, getting majority of these lines built. I think there are some in the south as well that haven't yet been built. I'm pretty certain once I planned one out from here that would come along this way. I definitely want some kind of connection into Frentbourne and beyond, because we've got the tram that comes down to interchange here. I actually think interchange would be a good spot for a railway station as well. He says that, but he can't really see where it would go. But I'm pretty certain it would make a good spot for that. I'm also just looking to see how many people are actually moving around by boat. I imagine a fair amount. We'll see. And then, yeah, the project next time out is to get high-speed trains running between Bahecity and Guard City, assuming that I can get my head around the SRTs and everything on time. Whether that happens or not, I have no idea. Also, it's so satisfying watching the trams coming in and out of here. But yeah, focus, Mark. Focus. Right, let's get started on rebuilding this approach here to Wunington. And then once that's done, we can start moving on and building the other lines as well. So, cue the music. Let's get going. Okay, approach tracks rebuilt. Pretty happy with these actually. I've also got the opportunity to redo the signalling slightly, which I'm also quite happy about. I don't know why I unpinned that actually. That was a bit dumb. There we go. Oh, you might also see these random depots around. That's from when we did the mass train deletion back in episode 1 of this series actually, which was, it must be about a year ago that we did the first episode, which is kind of scary because it feels quite recent, but it also wasn't. In fact, it might have even been 2 years ago. I'm trying to think where I was when I did it. Obviously, like moving house and stuff since then, it's made things a little bit trickier to keep track of the time. But yeah, all done. We got trees planted here as well, just to make things look a bit prettier. There we go. And now we're going to move on to the main project. So I think the first thing I want to do is build the track down to... So yeah, the track is meant to split at Marnwell, but I might actually split it down here, and then we can curve this way and cross over at a 90-degree angle this line here, and then head up to like Par Hill, Cartborough, things like that. Obviously, Slonford is going to remain as is. There is this station up here though, which is Slonford North, and I'm tempted to move that onto the branch. So I think the branch might actually, it won't interchange with Slonford Supernova. Or will it? Now I've said that out loud. I kind of like that idea. Maybe it will do that. But it will definitely pass by it. We might just have to do some rejigging with the roads and stuff. Alright. Let's get this first line built. I'm going to build it down here to Duntway. And then I think here's where the junction's going to be. And then we'll have 2 tracks this way, 2 tracks this way. Let's go. Alright, we have built the second branch line. Well, the first and the second. So we've got the line down here to Gending Hall. That's a good name, considering it's in the middle of Gending Hall. And then we've got the second line, which actually deviates quite considerably from the original plan, which was to go up through Par Hill and Cartborough. That's the one. And I do actually have a reason for why I decided to avoid most of these towns, which kind of fits in with the whole franchise thing, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, the line sort of snakes its way. You can see it like tunnels under here and this, and you see it's kind of like, it's quite meandering. Like it goes around the hill here. There are tunnels and bridges still, but it's quite meandering. And the story of that is meant to be, this was the original route, this one here, and then the slightly faster route that sort of carved its way through the landscape came along. Then the faster route was upgraded to allow high-speed trains, and then the Transit Rapid came through as well, and that literally just goes in a straight line, blasting through the countryside here. Look at all these industries again. Like I said, someone did tell me in the comments what this was, and I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it's to do with the industry new GRF that I use, and I replaced an older one with this one, and I think there's just some leftover industries that got corrupted. I believe that's the case. Yeah, anyway, Grindhead. Or Pruning Pit, apparently, but this is basically Grindhead. So the reason I didn't connect all of these towns is because these are rife for bus networks. So if you think Slompingford here could be the hub of a bus network, and then you can serve, you know, Rewood, Drundhatton Ridge, Slonford itself, of course, Harthingfield, Proofingwell, Slimfingley. You can also put some boats on the lake here as well. And then you can even have coach routes that go up to Par Hill, Cartborough, got Grafingway, Flonham. Lots of different opportunities here. And even down at the junction here at Duntway, if you had a bus station here, all of these towns could then be connected up. And if we do go ahead and connect this lake here to this lake here, you can even get on a boat from somewhere around here, Great Broadwood, or even over at Tranquility itself, and you can get a boat straight into the heart of Bahecity. So there are reasons why things are the way they are. When you're building something that's based on an old network, it's really hard to get that atmosphere of this did used to exist and it's just been modernized over time. Because if you build lines, so like this line here, you can't really tell me that this was built in the 1800s when it takes a really direct route with straight lines carved through hills and things like that, because that's just not what the Victorians did. So if you have it a bit more meandering, a bit wavier, a few more kinks along the way, more tunnels and things like that, it kind of does sell it a little bit more as being an older route, which I like to think I've achieved here. Anyway, one more time lapse today. I'm going to go make these stations look pretty, because I think that is key as well. When I'm building things, I might as well build them well and build them properly the first time around, and then once we get trains running, we don't have to keep coming back and messing around and disrupting things. So I'm going to go away and do that right now. Okay, stations all prettified. I think eventually when Duntway expands, we could build another station over here. And we could say that for a couple of these, actually. Also, you'll notice that I moved Slonford North to over here, which means I can remove the old one now. And I did commit a cardinal sin, Master Trams. If you're watching, I am sorry. I don't know if this affects the SRTs or not, but I did move these 2 waypoints just to put them either end of the tunnels here. Hopefully... See, I already think that will affect the SRTs, but I'm hoping it does it in a non-destructive way. Or at least, you know, not too disruptive kind of way. But knowing my luck, it'll probably result in a complete retiming of everything required, which will probably set me back a little bit, because I was trying to get the high speed up next episode. But we will see. If it ends up being a case of it gets delayed again by a little bit, that's entirely my fault, and I do apologise. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up this episode. So let's go through, turn that off, turn that on. Let's go through what we've actually done here. So first of all, we rebuilt the approaches here on this set of branch lines into Wunington Tranquility. So this is mainly for trains, in some cases trains that actually terminate here, but I might also use this as platforms for trains that then go on to the East Coast main line. And also for access to and from the depot, which is over here, and will actually get rebuilt with new storage tracks and everything. This one, I don't think too much needs to change. We can move the depots themselves over here, and then we just flood this whole area with storage sidings. I think that'll work quite well. Regarding how many trains can move at any one time, I don't actually know. We'll have to look at that. Maybe we'll just have 2 main lines through the middle with like storage either side, something like that. I don't know, we'll sort it out. It could also, these tracks over here could also be used for trains terminating from the north over here and also from the east over there. They can use both of those. The signalling here, all of it needs redoing. It's all messy and horrible. It's from an ancient relic before realistic braking became a thing. That's why it looks like this. From here, we then built a new line out of Wunington Tranquility in this direction at Duntway South, which is actually going to get renamed now to Duntway Junction. The tracks diverge. One pair of tracks comes down this way and terminates at Gending Hall. That's pretty much going to be a permanent terminus. I don't think it'll go any further than that. The other carries on this way, crosses over the line again, stops at Slunfing Bridge transfer. Can't get my words out. That will have a name change as well. This might just be Slunfing Bridge Upper. Or actually, Slunfing Bridge Town. Sounds like a good one. Again, that's the old Great Western methodology. If their station was just slightly closer to the town centre than their rivals, they would call it Town. Kidderminster is a fine example. Kidderminster Town Station is about 50 yards closer to the Kidderminster Town Centre than Kidderminster Station. Although Kidderminster Town, I believe, was just created for the Severn Valley Railway, so it's a bit of a stretch, but it is what the Great Western used to do. Slunfing Bridge over here as well. I was tempted to call them upper and lower, but then that would have to require changing some things on the codes list, which I don't really want to do. Branch then comes down via Slonford Supernova. These platforms would have been built at a later date. You can almost say that the original alignment was straight through like this. And then when the high speed and everything came through, they rediverted the slow lines onto their own designated tracks. So Slonfingford Supernova is here. Slonford Supernova, and then Slonford North is now here, which is technically Rewood, but we're going to keep the name Slonford North. We might put buses or something out here as well, just to get feeders going on. And then it starts to sort of deviate around a little bit. Leadingwell Woods, that's not a bad name for that one. Pruningwell Portland, that's going to change. Plindingston Bay South, that's also going to just change to Plindingston Bay. There we go. And then we got Plindingston Bay Woods, which I'm just going to change to North. And then Pruningwell Pit, which is also a horrible name, so we're going to change that to Grindhead. There we are. Now, there is also the plan over here from Slonford Supernova down to Breham. Right now, that line doesn't need to get built. And also the one from Gending Hall which was meant to come all the way along here and continue down. I can't actually remember what line this connects to. It's a third rail line. Oh, is that the one that goes up to Denston? I think it is. That's going to change as well, I feel. We'll see. Maybe what was meant to be one line could become another. So like this one from Slonford could actually join up with this line here and then form a new northern line that runs up this way. And yeah, there's loads of lines that all branch and diverge and do all kinds of amazing quirky things that I thought were a really good idea at the time, but have turned out to be an absolute nightmare to build. Yeah, everything else though I think is pretty fine and pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how this is all looking. I'm just going to rename some of these because we don't need all the fancy names when they're the only station in town. Geaham North, actually, or Gayham North, however you want to say that, is a pretty good one. We've got Marnwell Heights and Marnwell Woods. That's obviously going to change to north and east. The other thing worth mentioning is we're going to have all stoppers on these commuter lines. So trains that literally stop at every station, and they'll probably run hourly. And then every other half hour in between those, we'll have faster services that, you know, they'll stop at all stations to Wunington, and then they might skip east and stop at north. And then they probably will stop at Geaham North and Duntway Junction, but you know, they might stop at Shawningston, skip Trunford, or vice versa, and then stop at Gending Hall. And on this line here, it's a bit more spread out, but one that might stop at Slonford but then skips out north. And especially over here, probably stops at Plyndingston Bay and skips out the other two stations. I don't know. This one as well, I'm just going to rename Hill. Cool. So that pretty much does it for this episode. Hopefully next time out we will start getting high-speed trains running. I will check after I finish recording this with Master Trams to make sure that I haven't screwed something up. Knowing my luck, probably have, but never mind. If I have, then next episode might be delayed a little bit. If I haven't, then next episode might still be delayed because I might still be trying to wrap my mind around how this all works. But hopefully it's all fine and all dandy. And next time out, we'll actually see some Eurostars starting to stop at places like Wunington Tranquility. The service pattern is done. It's actually quite intense. I'm very much looking forward to explaining it, or at least trying to explain it. Again, judging my abilities, probably not going to be easy to do. And then, yeah, we'll just get trains running and everything will be fine and everything will be awesome. But for now, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And, of course, if you're enjoying the series so far, drop some comments down below with ideas for future episodes. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you for your continued support. Feel free to share the videos as well in the playlist with anyone you know who might be into this sort of thing. It's always very much appreciated. And feel free to check out the Patreon down below if you want to become a supporter and actually join the server yourself once it finally gets going. We'll have people creating their own franchises and running trains across all these tracks, and it'll be incredible. I'm very much looking forward to getting that going as well. But yeah, in the meantime, thanks once again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and until next time, I will see you soon.